Hello, hi, how are you? I hope that you are well today. I want to take some time in this video to focus on some basic beginning homemaking habits that you can create in your home to make it flow a little bit more smoothly, or at least just be able to have some focus and direction in your day. Hi, if you're new around here, my name is Cassidy, and here on this channel I like to focus on motherhood and homemaking, especially those skills that you need in that. I love keeping at home. I have a passion for homemaking and motherhood, and I want to share that. I did not have a mentor when I was learning these things, and so I want to make sure that I'm going ahead and sharing that information with you guys, the lessons and things that I've learned along the way that have really helped me as a homemaker and a mom. So stay tuned. I want you to go ahead and like this video so that other people can see this as well, and if you're not subscribed, make sure to do so, and when you do, hit the bell so that you're notified anytime I release a new video. I don't want you to miss a thing. So let's go ahead and go over those few tips that I have as a homemaker that have helped change the way that I homemake. Like I said, I've had to learn along the way and have had to incorporate certain things that I've picked up from others, or have just learned as somebody who has ADHD. I can get distracted easily, and then you add in children and chores and just tasks that need to be done. I easily get distracted, and so incorporating these things into my day and my cleaning routines and stuff like that have really helped me out. So my first tip in this video is make your bed. I know that this is probably plastered all over the place. This might not be the first time you're hearing that, and so I want to explain why. Making your bed is the first step of just getting you ready for the day. So putting that blanket down, straightening everything up, straightening pillows really sets the tone and showing that you are ready to get things done. A made bed is harder to climb back into. You don't really want to mess it up. You don't want to toss things on it and hide it, and so I really recommend the first thing that you do when you get out of bed is go ahead and make that bed. The second thing you're going to want to do is tidy any clutter. One of the tips that I recommend for this is setting a 10-minute timer. It makes a huge difference, and you'd be surprised what you can get done in 10 minutes. I like to incorporate this throughout my day when I'm struggling or just lacking motivation, and I see a mess that's maybe overwhelming or starting to stress me out because it's getting maybe a little bit out of control. I also do this for the children, and if you think about it, it's kind of like that game that you do with your children, or maybe your parents have done with you, where it's see how fast you can do this. It's kind of like a race against time, and so because there's a time limit, you tend to work a little bit harder and faster trying to get as much as you can accomplished. And even if you don't finish everything in that 10 minutes, let's say it's a 10-minute tidy in your kitchen or in your living room, even if you don't get everything cleaned up, it will make a huge difference, and it will just make you feel a little bit less stressed, more calm, and you can focus on other things that you may need to get done, and it will help keep things from getting out of control. Number 3, and it probably should have been right under number 1, but this is get dressed. And when you get dressed, you want to get dressed all the way down to your shoes, making sure that you're completely ready. When you have your shoes on, that means you're ready to go for anything that needs to be done. You're less likely to be sitting down or lounging and getting comfortable. That makes you more proactive throughout your day. This one has made a huge difference for me because as a homemaker and a mom, you spend most of your day in the home, and it can become really easy to just sit down and relax instead of getting the things done. Now, I'm not saying that you don't want to spend some time with your children on the floor or anything like that, but you're just less likely to spend a lot of time doing those things when you have those shoes on and you keep them on. Okay, and number 4 is probably my top tip that I share with moms and homemakers, especially if you have ADHD, and that is a cleaning routine. You really want to have a cleaning routine because it makes sure that you get to everything that needs to be done. You're not skipping days or weeks of these things and then it getting out of control or just really bothering you and getting off task. Now, like I said, I do have ADHD. That's why cleaning routines really help me especially out, because I can go on rabbit holes. I don't know if you're like me, but sometimes I go to wash the dishes and get distracted by something that needs to be put away, and then I'm reorganizing a drawer, and then I have to go down to the basement and I see laundry that needs to be done, so now I'm doing laundry, and then something has to go up to my girls' room, and so now I'm in the girls' room, and I'm just not completing the tasks that I had in mind to do that need to be done. And so incorporating a cleaning routine helps me make sure that I get the things done that I need to get done, especially areas that are not typical in your daily routine that you're not seeing often. Like mine is my master bathroom. It is somewhere I'm at in the morning, and so I will tidy up, but maybe not get to my shower as often as I'd like to because it's the farthest room in my house and not where I spend most of my day. My bedroom and bathroom are at the top floor where I spend very little time during the day. I'm majority in the middle main floor area, and so that's an area that I have to make sure that I make time to get done because I just won't get to it. And so a cleaning routine really helps me make sure that I'm going throughout the rooms in my house, maybe different days of the week or different times of the day, whatever works for you, but it's really making sure that you're getting to all the areas that you really want to get to. And my fifth tip is having a budget or finance tracker / system. Something where you're able to make sure that you're tracking your spending, that you're tracking your credit, that you're tracking the debt that needs to be paid off or your savings or anything like that. Just really making sure that you're being diligent when it comes to your finances. It's one of those things that is like out of sight, out of mind. You're not always seeing, especially if you're using your debit card a lot. You're just kind of swiping as you go. You're not paying attention to what is going where. And so having a budget or a finance system of some sort really makes a difference. One of the ones that I really like, and you've probably heard of, is the Dave Ramsey envelope system. And that's just really making sure that every dollar is accounted for and assigned somewhere. And that just helps me, again, because the ADHD, I will lose track, or out of sight, out of mind. I'm not paying attention to things that need to be paid off maybe, or bills that are not automated, like paper bills. Sometimes I'll just put it in a stack of things and lose track and lose sight of it. So having a system or a track, like a binder maybe, just to write out what is due, when it's due, how much is due, and looking at that regularly to making sure that you're reminding yourself of what needs to be paid or taken care of. And maybe that's just something that your husband deals with. It's not something that you take care of, and this is not for you, and that's okay. So we'll just go ahead and move down to tip number 6. Tip number 6 is tackle laundry. I feel like laundry is just one of those things that you have to do, like meal planning. It becomes tiresome and it can become extremely overwhelming if you're not taking care of it a little bit at a time. And so I like to chip away at laundry, making sure that I keep it manageable by doing at least a load a day. Now for my family, we do have 9 of us. I have 7 children and then myself and my husband, and I might go out on a limb and say my husband probably has more laundry than the rest of us, or maybe equal to the baby. But he has his workout attire, and then he has work attire, and then his regular clothes and stuff. And so he can go through a good amount of laundry a week. And so I like to designate one day per person. And so Mondays is my husband and I, and that's usually about 2 loads. And so I will set a timer when the washer's done to switch over to the dryer, and when the dryer's done, so I can make sure to remind myself to get down there and do it, because it is in the basement. So again, not on the main floor, not where I spend my day. I cannot hear the buzzer from where I'm at, especially with children or homeschooling and things like that we have going on in our day. And so I'll make sure to set a timer on my phone for 45 minutes, an hour, whatever it is, washer or dryer, to make sure I get down there and switch it over. Or I'll make sure at lunchtime, okay, now I have time to focus because they're eating or they're napping, and I'll get down there and I'll switch those loads. And then Tuesdays are my girls' day, Wednesday is my son, Thursday are my 2 youngest son, the baby and the toddler, and then Friday is my daughter, who does it by herself. Most of my kids can do the laundry by themselves. I just help. And then Saturday is household stuff, whether it's bedding, towels, blankets, that kind of thing, to make sure that we're all getting everything done. And Sunday is a day of rest unless somebody needs something for that Monday, and they'll just toss it in on Sunday night. Now, tip number 7 is meal plan. I know that meal planning seems really intimidating, especially when you're starting out at first and maybe you don't have regular recipes that you're using, or you're trying to stick to a budget and you really don't know what kind of meals you can create with that. And so I understand and I empathize. I have been doing this a long time now, so I know what my family likes, what we can afford, and sometimes that fluctuates, especially right now with the inflation of everything. I actually have a video, and I'll link it down below, talking about how to create a meal plan and how to figure out what works for you and how to do that best, and I highly recommend you check that out. For me, I know what my family likes and enjoys. I do have a deep freezer and a stock pantry that I will go depending on what needs to be used up and create meals based off of that. And then always, what's on special or on discount prices at grocery stores, what's on sale, sorry, that's what I was looking for. What's on sale at different grocery stores. You might be able to get a really good deal on some chicken, and so you want to go ahead and stock up on chicken and maybe create a few meals with that. I like to meal plan weekly. I used to actually meal plan bi-weekly, like every 2 weeks when we were getting paid based off of the paycheck. And then when I worked in childcare, I would actually meal plan by the month because that was what was easier. And so like I said in the video that I'll share down below, I go over all of those things and figuring out what works best for you. So you might actually really enjoy maybe repeating the weeks, where you figure out 1 week, repeat it, and that will be your whole meal plan for the month. And sometimes that works for people also, and so it's totally up to you. There's some ideas, but definitely check out the video so that you can get a little bit more insight and help with that. But a meal plan will make a huge difference in the flow of your day. And if you have older children, especially, who are asking 500 times a day, what's for dinner, what's for lunch, what's for breakfast, what are we going to do for this, what's for snack, I am one of those people that do even plan out snacks because it makes it easier. When I was doing childcare, that's what really helped me keep track of things, make sure that I had what I needed for those meals. And if I needed help, the kids can go ahead and step in and see, hey, we're having, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with carrot sticks and apples, and they can go ahead and help me prepare lunch if I get busy, especially now that I have a newborn who's only 6 weeks old, and I can get caught up doing things that he needs me to do for him. So it's really helpful having a meal plan, especially if you have children or you're ADHD like I am and just need something to look on to make sure that you're using up those ingredients and things that you had planned for. Okay, so then along the lines of planning and all that, having planned routines. Now, I do have ADHD, like I've mentioned multiple times, and I'm sorry if it's getting old, but it does have a huge impact on how I am a homemaker and how I am a mom. And I need to make sure that I'm doing things that really help me be the best that I can be, or at least the best that to make sure that I'm doing what I need to do, holding me accountable and keeping me focused. If I do lose track of time or whatever, lose track of the activity or whatever's going on, I can look back and see what needs to be done, what I had planned done, and it just helps me feel less overwhelmed and less stressed out. So planning my routines out, whether it's having my morning routine, which is something that I do, like the way I get ready, I have everything kind of tied together to where when I'm doing things, I don't really lose track of what needs to be done because I'm doing it regularly all the time. At first, when I was getting started doing these routines, what I would do is put it on a post-it, like in the morning, making sure that I wash my face, do my skincare, brush my teeth, do my hair, any other things that I needed to do in the bathroom while I was up here, like clean the toilet or the sink as I'm doing all of these things, just to remind me of that schedule, just to remind me of the things that I needed to do to make sure that I didn't get distracted, like going to get dressed and then seeing my closet was a mess and thinking that I need to do that right now. And so I recommend doing some planned routines. Again, with our morning, the kids have a planned out routine. For school, we have a routine and way that we do things every single day to make sure that we're doing it, that the kids know what to expect. And I prefer using routines, or rhythms is another word for that, and that's because I can get overwhelmed by time. And I usually don't meet time frames because, again, I can get distracted, or even my kids, because I do have a few children who also have ADHD as well as my husband. So we get distracted a lot in this family, and if we don't have routines or rhythms that we have to fall back on and kind of remind ourselves, okay, like after we do this, this is what we go on to next. After we're done with that, this is the next thing that follows after that. And it's questions that I can ask my children versus, hey, we need to have everything done by 10 a.m. and then us all feeling overwhelmed and stressed out. Now we do have times where, like my husband going to work, he has a certain time he has to be to work, and we have a certain time that we have to be to church. And so those days are usually more stressful with all of us. My husband is not as stressed out, getting ready for work, because it's part of his routine. He's used to it. It's established. But when it's all of us trying to figure things out, we can become overwhelmed and stressed. And so having those planned out routines of like what needs to be done versus at what time it needs to be done makes a huge difference for us, and has really helped me be less stressful and overwhelmed as a mom and as a homemaker than when I was trying to do like block schedules or have things done by a certain time. So I highly recommend, if that's something that you deal with or maybe you haven't tried out, I definitely suggest that you try that. So that was tip number 8, having planned routines. And my last and final tip is tip number 9, that's having master lists. Now going back to like the meal plan or the cleaning routines, having a master list of what needs to get done, or meals that have been really good hits, like creating a master list of like, let's say 25, 30 meals that you can fall back on and think, okay, well, I don't really know what to make, or I have this ground beef and I don't know what to do with it. We've done like the normal spaghetti and tacos and I just want to mix it up. Having a master list that you can go to just refresh and give yourself some ideas is a huge deal. It makes a huge difference. It's really helped me out a lot, especially when it comes to those dinner meals. And then also with the cleaning, right? If you have master lists when it comes to your bathroom cleaning routine or kitchen routine, you're making sure that you're getting all those things done, especially if you have children doing those chores or tasks like I do, making sure that they have something that they can check off and get all of those things that you need done in that room finished is super, super helpful. So I really advise you to go ahead and get those master lists created. I can show you a few that I've created down in the description as far as like my meal plans for dinner, and I do have a few cleaning routines for myself and my children in there that I'll show. So just go ahead and make sure you check down in the description. I will also include any videos that I've created on these subjects to kind of help you understand or just give you some ideas to create your own. I hope that these 9 tips were really helpful to you, especially if you're a beginner. If you have any other tips or ideas for those beginning homemakers or moms just starting out, make sure that you go ahead and comment those so that they can check those out. Also, I would love to see what you guys do and create in your homes to help you out. I hope this video was helpful. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure that you hit that like button so that other people can see it and it gets to them. Also, if you're not subscribed, make sure you do so and hit that bell so anytime I release any of these type of helpful videos for you, you won't miss a thing. And as always, happy homemaking, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!